Yes, starting with the chapter Game Preparation, chapter 5. So, general golden rule for the Assault system is if additional expansions are played and there may deviations from the rules in this book, the rules in the expansions take precedence. That is a golden rule for all of the system here. But if you want to play the Assault game, you have to select, of course, your scenario. Therefore, we have our scenario book or campaign book for LaP campaign. So to select your scenario, just go into the campaign book and select one of the scenario, the individual scenarios, or go to the LaP campaign. Therefore, you play a dynamic campaign based on 2 battle days. So just choose your scenario. I did choose a scenario from the individual scenarios, the Dirty Dozen, and I want to explain now how to prepare to play this game. First thing is players to choose the factions. So you can of course choose between Axis and Allied forces, and it's free for the players to choose. You can decide it by your own. And if you have your scenario here, in this case you have Italians versus US paratroopers, but you can also use the Germans versus the paratroopers, or if you want to play an alternate history scenario, you can play Italians versus Germans as you want. Also, the system provides you the alternate history play in by swapping the faction colors. So we have typically in Sicily here blue and green faction. Blue is historically for the Axis and green for the Allied, but you can decide to swap the sides and then the scenario changes to green is the blue, so US would be the defender here and the Axis player would be the airdrop or the attacker here in that case. So you can decide this by playing it alternate history. So the number of players is typically a 2-player game. You can play this, of course, solo, as I do most of the time, testing things. But also you can, if you have bigger scenarios, like, I don't know, Bunker Hill, like this, where you have 3 formations with tanks, you can of course decide to play it by 3 players, 4 players, and then you have to divide your formation cards to other players, and you can play it with a team. Yes, how to share formation cards is stated here in 5.4.1, but this is typically a 2-player game, but we played it with 3 or 4 guys too. Then you have to set up your game board. This is rather easy by taking a look to the map tiles in the scenario description and choose them out of the box and then set them up as it is described here in the scenario description. Then add obstacles like here described trench, bunkers and pillboxes. Just put them like they are stated here. Put on the objective markers, and that's it for the setup. To play with the troop status values, so I prepared now the game board here, and this is a scenario which uses troop status board. You see it on the left side here, troop status values. Then you need to set up the troop status board, which is here. And it's rather easy. You have 2 factions, green and blue. We assume blue is Axis, so blue starts at 2. Then we have 5, 7, 9. So we have the pressure marker here at 2. And then we have 579, withdraw, surrender routed. That would have been for the blue faction, and we do need, of course, a casualty tracker or losses tracker here. That would have been the setup for the blue forces here mentioned in the troop status values. Then select formation cards. This is up to the players how to do. In this scenario, you can have only one infantry formation on both sides, so I typically choose Italians and I take also the Americans. These are infantry formations. I shuffle them, and then you have several modes how to choose. First would be that players choose their cards manually, so you can decide what you want to have, what kind of formation do you want to have, or you want to choose it randomly, so draw the double amount of formation cards and choose one, or you can only draw it randomly, so rather easy to pick. So I can say, I want the mode 1, I want to choose what I want to have, or I want to draw 2 of them and take one and the other is put back, and so on. So these are different modes to define your order of battle. And if this is done, then you have your order of battle, and then you have to check the scenario description if there are additional starting forces or reinforcements. And if we check this, we have of course here the green faction starts with 3 airborne rifles, 1 M99, a Cal 30 MMG, 1 sniper and 1 mortar in zone A. So this is a starting force. We can choose separate and extra to the one formation we have to draw, because this formation comes then, you see it in the reinforcement sections in turn 3. So this is regarding all the reinforcement and additional starting forces. So you have individual units like we have red, and or you can have formation cards as a reinforcement. Then it's typically unit placement, and if you have command points, you should add them to your unit pool and then start to set up like it is defined in the scenario description. And be aware that you have specific for artillery, which has an arc of fire, and also vehicles. They must be placed like they have to be orientated to the hex vertex. In that case, we have the blue faction set up first, then it's easy. Blue faction sets up this unit, and then the green can follow. Yeah, additional as an optional rule, we have the command cards, and how this is to be built I will show now. Beware, still an optional rule. I want to add this, so it's rather easy to generate this deck. I will remove this to have some more place here. So we have one stack of Italian cards and one stack of US cards. I will clone them. So, and as I said, the neutral cards got shuffled and split to half, and then I have to divide them. Into the two stacks. And then I have 21 cards and shuffle them again. And then I have my card decks for the Axis player and my card deck for the Allied player. That's it for the game preparation.